going over this right here. It's the simple Bauhaus pattern. Now, a couple things as we get started. First one is that when I'm clicking, hopefully you can be able to see that. I'll try to tell you when it is I'm actually clicking, but you should see that little circle pop up momentarily. And then the other thing is that when I'm typing down here in the left, that should hopefully pop up whatever it is I'm typing to kind of help there with some shortcuts. Now I am on a Mac, and so you will see that I will be using the Command key instead of the Control key, but that is about the only change that's going to exist here. So without further ado, let's go ahead and begin. We're going to open up Illustrator here. Should land you on this title screen, and we're just going to open a new file. And whatever you have selected, no matter what, mine's kind of preset, but let's just say you have this selected. What we want is we want to be able to have some sort of big document. So we're going to have 1,000 by 1,000. Now here's the thing. This one says 1,000 by 1,000 inches, and 1,000 by 1,000 inches is really, really big. And so we're actually going to change this to something called a pixel. If you remember our raster images, each one of those squares is a pixel. And so as you can see, I don't really want 72,000 pixels. I just want 1,000 pixels. And so we're going to go ahead, we're going to change those to 1,000. Everything else looks pretty good. I'm just going to name this one abstract pattern 1. And I'm going to go ahead and create this. Now, after I create this, the very first thing that I'm going to want to do is I'm going to want to hit save. So for me, that's Command S. For you, Control S. I'm going to go ahead and just save this one to my Creative Cloud. And when I do this, again, shout out to Sergio and Fifth, it allows you to share using a link here. So what we're going to want is just make sure that I can see it. So it's either going to be anyone can see this or anyone at MSD can see that. But we're just going to create our link here. And so once I have that, right, I'm going to copy that. And then when we go back to Canvas and we start this, come on, we're just going to kind of submit that there. We hit submit assignment. Boom, I'm done. I don't have to worry about turning this back in anytime in the future. I can just hit save here and then that'll automatically update. So first thing, save, share, submit, all done. Okay, to start off, let's go ahead. We're gonna draw a rectangle here. So I'm looking for my polygon tool. So I'm gonna click on that over in the side and I'm going up here to the corner where I get those nice little smart guides, and I am just going to cover this entire thing with a rectangle. Okay, so if I have a rectangle, I can kind of move it around. Again, I can just Command Z, Control Z out of that to put it back in the center here. So once it's covered, I'm going to go up here to the top, should say object, and I want to look for something that says path. And right now I can't do anything because I don't actually have any path selected. So if you're getting something that's grayed out, that's why. So we want to select it, blue boxes, object, path, and we're going to end up splitting this into a grid of 100 squares. So when I do this, it's going to ask for the number of rows. So we're going to do 10. It gives me a total of 1,000, and then same thing here. 10 by 10 gives me 1,000. And so when I hit OK, there we go. There are all of my squares, and I still have them all selected. Before I do anything else, I like to be able to see those because the white on white doesn't quite show up for me. So I'm going to fill this with, say, black. And then I'm going to click on my stroke here. And let's go ahead and just turn that one off so I can fill it with this little line that goes through that. There we go. That's going to look nice. Okay, so I've got those created. Now all I need to do is make some additional squares here. So I'm going to kind of zoom out and we're going to copy this first row. So I'm just clicking and dragging. I'm selecting that top row and I've got a couple options. I could hit Command copy and then paste over here. But I want to teach you a new shortcut here in order to do that. Let's go ahead and undo that. So with that selected, all I have to do is hold down Option, Alt on a Windows. And when I click and drag, it's going to make a copy of those. And we don't need all of those. I only need 4 of these marvelous little squares here. So there we go. I've got my 4. That's looking good. What I'm going to end up doing with these is turning them into kind of these little beveled cone looking things, because what we're going to end up doing is we're going to be making this wonderful piece of art right here. Doesn't have to look exactly like this, but something kind of close. And so you're going to have 100 different objects here, all of 5 different colors. So in order to make those, I'm going to select one of these squares, but this time I'm using my direct select tool, so I can shortcut that with A. And I'm going to click down in the anchor in the corner to grab that little bevel tool. And we're just going to drag that all the way. And I'm going to do that for each one of these corners. So bottom left, bottom right, and then top right, top left. So I've got all of those. Sweet. Okay. Next thing we want to do is we're going to want to make sure that we're not actually selecting any of this stuff. So what I could do is I could lock this layer, and that definitely will let me not select anything there. But I also can't move that, and that's not what I want to do. So let's unlock that really quickly. And let's just go ahead and we'll select those really fast and kind of see what's going on here. So if I twirl open this little path here and I scroll down, I can kind of see those shapes in here. And this right here in college, they always called this the meatball. I don't know why, but when it is selected, that selects the individual object. And if I hold down Control or Command, I can select more than one. So that's a good way to kind of select things right away. Now, I don't want to like 100 of those little squares. That's a lot to lock. So let's go ahead and make this a little bit simpler. We're going to add a new layer here. So I'm going to click this little plus icon here. That brings in a layer 2. And let's just move those to that layer. And so let's just go ahead. We'll go edit. We'll go cut or Command Control X. And then all I have to do is click onto that red layer. And when I paste those, so edit, paste, or Command Control V, you'll see that now they have that red line. So blue, layer 1, red, layer 2. Let's go ahead and just call this is our background. That way we don't forget. And then I can lock this and perfect. Can't move that, can move those. Sweet. Okay. I've got those. Now, if you noticed on our little document here, we have, oh, why is it doing that? There we go. Just pull that into our document here. And let's go ahead and move that down here. Now, the other thing I can do is I can twirl open my layers. So I unlock this layer just so I can drop this image in, and I can click on that and I can slide it. Now, the little line means I'm going below or above. And then when I click on a layer itself, see how that highlights? I can click there, and now it has been dropped onto that background layer. So now when I lock it, perfect, can't move that either. So we need 5 different colors. You can kind of see them down here in the bottom right. And so let's go ahead and we're going to find 5 different colors. Now you have all made your mood board, or at least are working on it. And so we're going to use one of those images. It's telling me that this is a linked file, and so if you don't have this file, it'll go away. So let's go ahead, we'll make sure that we can fix that. I'm going to select on the image and scroll down and embed this. That way it'll show up. Small thing. It's not important. You don't have to have that in your document, but I like it for reference. Okay, so back here, I've got my file. Right here, there's a link that says Adobe Color, and it brings up this wonderful thing. And this is where I'm going to kind of choose my colors. So if I swing this around, it's going to kind of have this color harmony here. This one right here is set to analogous, but I could choose any of those others. And I think we kind of played with this a little bit with that little color game to kind of see those different color palettes. And so I could go around and I can actually choose those colors and it will stick with that theme. But what if I wanted an exact theme? So I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to extract this from my favorite file. So when I click a little image here, it's going to pick those prominent colors. And that's looking pretty good. And I can kind of shift these around to kind of see what might be my preferred one. I like either the colorful or muted on this one. They look like they're the same. And so this looks really good. Now, I'm not sure how your libraries sync. In the computer lab, it looked like they didn't sync well. So here's how we're going to get these colors into our document. If you look down here below, there's this little hex code here that says pound 3836. 73. This hex code refers to a specific color, and that's really cool because I can just take that and I can copy that somewhere on the web. Even in like Google Docs, this will work when you're selecting colors. But in Illustrator here, let's go ahead and we're going to add some different colors here. So I want to go ahead and add one color to each one of those. And let's go ahead, we're just going to kind of drag this out. So again, I'm holding down, I've clicked all of those, I'm holding down Alt or Option, and I'm just going to kind of drag out. We wanted 5 of those, I think. There we go. There we go. And there we go. 1 for each color. Okay, so let's select the first one. I'm going to go to Fill. And then let's go ahead and make a new color theme here. So I clicked on the little folder, Bauhaus. There we go. It included this black. Maybe I'll get rid of that later. We'll see. But I'm going to click this little new swatch button because if you look right down here at the bottom, I've got that little hashtag there. And if I select this and paste that hex code, you'll notice that that changes the colors for me. So I'm going to go ahead, call that one good. I'm going to select that once again. I'm going to come in here and I'm going to click down here to highlight that folder so that when I click new color, my new color is going to go into that folder here. So let's go ahead. We're going to go grab that next one. And we're just going to kind of populate that. So paste, there we go. Select, oops, select, fill. I'm going to put it in this folder, plus, copy. And let's do that for each one. Now your colors might be different. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. Your image or inspiration from your Bauhaus mood board might be a little bit different. Let's go ahead and drop that in this one. Awesome, one more. So Chrome, copy, back here, let's select this. Let's go fill. And then once again, I'm just gonna kind of drop it into this folder here. There we go. Now, I did promise I would get rid of that color for you, right? The black one. If I want to do that, if I click on something like this, let's go ahead and just not do that right now. We'll focus on that in a different video when we focus on color schemes. Okay, so I've got all my different swatches here. We are going to create some sort of pattern that looks like this. And so what's really awesome is all I'm going to do is I'm just going to highlight one of these. And if I look at this particular pattern, I've got this shape, and I'm just going to start recreating what I see here. Now, yours, you could be a little bit different inspiration. But all I'm doing is that when I see something, so like in this one, I see this little light blue corner piece here. I'm just gonna select it, right? I'm holding down Alt or Option, it turns it into like double arrow. And then when I click and drag, there I go. I can snap that over here. And we'll just kind of do that for every single one of them. And again, it doesn't have to look like this. We might play around with this, get something else. I suppose if you want to copy this one, you can. But look at this. I'm noticing something here. I'm noticing that this one is not quite lined up. So if I just really quickly select this layer, see how this didn't quite line up? Let's go ahead. We're going to snap that just a little bit different. There we go. That should be all set up. Let's look at that layer now. Oh, let's meatball that. Oh yeah, that's lined up. That looks really good. All right, we're gonna keep on keeping on. Let's line that one up, and then my last one was, oops, I forgot to copy that one. All right, well, you end up getting the idea. Now, the very last thing is, once I get those final patterns done, right, and maybe I don't like some of these colors next to each other, that's okay. And maybe I want to do something else. Like I could, say, create a whole circle here. Right, this is starting to look interesting. A lot of our Bauhaus designs include squares. And so we actually could, if we wanted to, click on this and maybe drag that handle all the way back out. Look at that. Now I'm getting some interesting patterns. So why don't we go ahead, we'll kind of play around with this. We'll see what we like. And the last step is going to kind of make that background. I like that kind of cream white. So when I select it and I go over here to properties, let's go ahead and fill this with some sort of off-white or regular white. I guess it doesn't really matter. But we're going to make this look really, really nice. Let's go ahead. I mean, I can't do this. I need the off-white. Color mixer. Let's do this. We'll grab something that's not in black and white. And we'll grab a nice little cream color here. And maybe slide these magenta and cyan sliders down. Okay, that looks good. I guess if you want that hex code, it's this right here, FCC FDE, or you could play around with that. And that is all I have. Remember, last thing that you're going to want to do is you're going to want to hit Control Save, Command Save, and that's going to upload this to our Creative Cloud so that I can see that. And remember, you've already submitted that document. All right, that's all. Hopefully that helps. Take care. I'll see you in class.